Today's session will see the cash management. Okay. So how to create the manual bank statements and how the bank statements can be reconciled manually and how to automate what additional setups are required. How to record the external cash transactions like bank charges, etc. How to process adult payments will go through. So when I talk about cash management, so we no need to do much additional configuration. And as we know, the cash management application stands at legal entity level as per enterprise structure. So if you want to create bank statements within the cash management, typically we have to create bank transaction codes. Setup point of view, we have to create bank transaction codes. To have access to cash management, we need to assign one role called as cash manager. Assign cash manager role to user. And apart from that, this is not a setup. From AP, whatever the payments are available, the information will flow to cash management automatically. We no need to perform any action. But when you talk about AR receipts, we have to perform the action called as remittance. So we have to remit receipts from receivables to cash management. Payables payments, you don't need to remit directly, that information will flow to cash management. But directly we don't get receipts information into cash management. So we have to perform the remittance activity within the receivables, same data will flow here. Okay, first we'll complete the transaction codes creation and role assignment. Then we'll perform the remittance. And before we perform remittance, we'll go and check the data availability in the cash management from payables and receivables. We'll perform the remittance. After remittance, we'll see how to create the bank statement where we can use this transaction codes. We'll discuss, then we'll perform the manual and automatic reconciliations. So, setup and maintenance. The task name is, or else first let's assign the role. The synchronization will take some time. Tools, security console, users, Alt IMC, add role. The role name is cash manager. Save and close. Done. Submit LDAP for synchronization.
Lakshman, data access is not required.
You're not required. By default, it's
No.
not required. This can have access to all the, by default, the given provision, you can access everything. If you want to restrict, you can restrict also, but ideally, by default, you'll get access to all. We submit it. Now create the bank transaction codes. Here, search for transaction codes. So manage bank statement transaction codes. Here you could see the bank statement transaction codes. So few codes Oracle is providing. In reality, the codes, this is how you can see in the 3 digits. So check paid and outgoing money. Okay, interest credit. So these are the codes we could see in the bank statements. When you get the bank statements from the banker, so based on the nature of the transaction, whether you received cash or you paid or just transfer you did, whatever the nature of the transaction, based on that, bank will provide the separate code. So those codes we have to maintain in the system. For our understanding, we'll go and create one code. So what are the codes you see in the bank statement that you can directly create here? Click on create. So code is 321. Taking the name as payment. Transaction type is say check payment. Say save and close. The same one code you can use for multiple purposes also. Payment which we receive from customers we can use, and what are the payments we make to the suppliers also we can use. We can specify like whether that is a debit or credit. We'll see that. Done. You may create just based on the bank statement, you may create multiple codes. Now we'll go and verify the payments data is reflecting in the cash management from AP or not. Okay, no additional action you have to perform. It should reflect directly. We assign the role. Because of the role within the navigator, we should be able to see the cash management. It is a cash management. Under cash management, by default, you will see the cash balances. The role, whatever we assign as a cash manager role, because of the role, here system should add bank statement reconciliation additional task. It is not reflecting. So sign out and sign in. Cash management. Now you can see bank statements and the reconciliation. Click on the same task. In some instances, it doesn't sync immediately. Only the option is we have to wait. Go to task pan. And here is the task called as manual reconciliation. We are not going to do the manual reconciliation now. We'll do it later. But we want to verify that data is populating in the cash management from AP and AR. We want to check. Click on manual reconciliation. Just to review the data, we are using this task. So which bank account related transactions you want to see? Just click on search. Now here you can see system transactions. System transactions. The source for those system transactions is payables. From payables, you can get the payments data. These are the check numbers. Check numbers when payment was issued. You can see all the details, the amount. So all are coming from payables. Now, if you scroll it till down, you can see only one transaction is available in the system transactions, which is coming from receivables. We have tested one concept called as customer refund. As a part of customer refund, if you want to refund money back to the customer, we have to perform the remittance. Yes, we create a receipt with the 10,000. That receipt we remitted to bank. Because of the remittance, we are able to see this receipt in the cash management. Otherwise, you don't see any receipt in cash management by default. So only one we have. We'll go on to perform the remittance, the cash management, accounts receivable. The data will be populated in the cash management. Go to accounts receivable, accounts receivable task. Go to task pan. Under receipt remittances, click on create receipt remittance batch. Select criteria, with what criteria you want to select the receipts. Click on plus icon, and here you can give some criteria to fetch the receipts to remit. Only specific customer related receipts you want to remit, or else specific receipt method related receipts you want to remit. Say alt I and say check. Search. So we have many receipts. Whatever the receipts you want to remit, you can remit accordingly. Just for our testing, we don't need many receipts. Few receipts we want to remit. Select and say apply. Click on done. Or you may select all. So few receipts. We selected only 6 receipts. Now click on save and close. Receipt remittance batch number is 1003. Say OK. And go to manage receipt remittance batches. One double zero three we created just now. The status is completed creation. Select the same batch and click on approve. It's just a manual action. Click on search to update the check the status. The status turned into completed approval. Now these receipts would be available in the cash management. Now click on search. Check. Those receipts should reflect. So we are able to see those additional receipts here. Now, one side we have system transactions, other side we have to maintain the bank statement lines so that we can do manual reconciliation or automatic reconciliation. We'll test both. First, we will add the bank statement lines here so that we'll be able to test manual and automatic. So we don't have any bank statement. What we can do is we'll export the same data into Excel and we'll treat it as a bank statement we received from the banker. Right. Now, select all the system transactions, export into Excel. Yes. Okay. So we don't need these many for our testing. What I'll do is remove few. Okay, we'll treat these lines are coming from bank statement. We received bank statement from banker, and those details we are going to enter in the system. Fine. This we don't need. Okay, okay. These three, six are enough. Okay, we'll go and enter this data in the system as a bank statement. So, 1 second. Just click on done. Go to task pan. Here is the task. Create bank statement. Create bank statement. Now you want to create the bank statement for which bank account. Select bank account and period start date and end date. The bank statement start and end date. So we'll take the statement period as based on the transactions which are available. We'll take it say from John 1st to till today or till yesterday. The reality when you get the real bank statement from banker, there should be statement number. That number you enter in the statement ID. So, this is a statement ID. And when you get the real statement, as per statement, you can see opening balances and closing balances. Okay. The opening balances here, closing balance details you can enter here. But anyway, not mandatory. Real statement when we get, we have to input. Now go to statement lines. Here we have to add all the statements in the system as per our bank statement. Click on add. We'll go one by one. So John 1st, 24. John 1st. So John 2nd. Okay, John 2nd. And here is the reconciliation reference. You take this number, check number, provide here. And transaction code we created. Okay. So transaction code we created as a 321. Select the same. Flow indicator. This is very important here to make the system to understand this is which transaction, whether it is a payables payment or receivables receipt. So as per bank statement, okay, as per bank statement, so it's a payables means payment. Again, it's a positive negative sign. Negative sign means payables we pay. It could be payables if it is a positive sign, that means refund. So 2000. Okay. So 2000 minus 2000 means it's so we are paying. Okay. So it's negative representation. Since we are paying the flow indicator, this amount is not going to credit into our bank account. It is going to debit from our account. So you have to select flow indicator as debit since it's a payment. If it is a receipt, you have to select as credit. The amount will be credited into our bank account. Now it is not going to credit, it is going to debit from our bank account. Select flow indicator as debit. And here, when you say flow indicator debit, then system will understand this is a payment. Now you no need to enter amount as it is, how it is appearing in this sheet. Okay, you have to enter 2000. You need to enter minus 2000. When you enter 2000, and based on the flow indicator, system can understand that amount is payables payment since it's a debit. Click on create another, provide the date John 5th, reconciliation reference.
So in reality, the bank statement, whatever we will receive, will that have the transaction code?
Yes, it will have transaction codes.
Okay.
Flow indicator is debit. Amount is $100. Say create another. Same date. Reconciliation reference. Debit. How much? 250. It will be interest which we paid. So create another. Next one is Feb 10. Receipt number, nothing but check number. Transaction code. We can use the same code. Amount is 3000. Now the flow indicator is it is a payment from customer. So it will be credited into our account. The amount is 3000. Then create another. Now date is 10th. And receipt number. Transaction code. You can use the same and you can change the flow indicator. So since this is a payment and 5000 customer payment, so credit to our account 5000. So create another. Next, one more same date. 10th. And reconciliation reference. Transaction code, flow indicator is credit, amount is 5000. And say OK. So we created multiple lines. If you have a statement from the banker, okay, if banker is able to provide the statement in the different formats, like take, so like formats would be like, let's see, banker is providing the statement in BI2 format, Swift 940, and ISO, and there are a few other formats. These formats can be loaded into the system so that automatically system will create the bank statement. Okay, so if banker is providing the statement in these formats, those formats can be loaded. The files can be loaded into the system. So that's how that system will be able to create the bank statement lines. We don't need to enter through manual process. Now completely we enter through manual process. This complete bank statement can be loaded if banker is providing the statements in these formats. Okay, most of the like maybe local banks, it may not provide like banks like you can see JP Morgan and Standard Chartered and HSBC. These banks definitely will provide, and the local banks are not sure. Most of the banks they don't follow these international standards. This is international standards these bank statement formats. If your bank is providing these statements, you can load into the application. Now click on save and close. So the opening balance that included in the statement debit credit does not equal. Yeah, we didn't enter any opening and closing balances. Say okay, done. Now go to manual reconciliation. Click on search. Now here one side you can see the system transactions. Okay, system transactions which are resulting from payables, payments, and receivables receipts. Other side you could see bank statement lines. Now if you want to perform the manual reconciliation, yes, you can do. Say you want to reconcile this payables payment. Check number is 10001. Date is John 2nd and amount is 2000 that you want to reconcile with a system transaction. As per system, if you have a matching line, you can reconcile. So here is the matching line. Same reference number, nothing but check number, same date, same amount, payables payment. Here minus means payment term. You select. When you select both, here system will display. Is there any difference between these two lines which you got selected from the bank statement line and the system transaction? Here you can notice there is no difference. No difference. Amount is 2000, selected one. Click on reconcile. If everything is fine, it will reconcile. Now you don't see that reconcile bank statement line here. In fact, we added 6 lines. Now we have only 5. One bank statement line got reconciled with another one system transaction, which is matching. Now here you don't see 10001. 10002 you have no 1. Here also 10001. 1 is not available. If you want to check which are reconciled, go to reconcile tab and search. So it created one group for the reconcile lines, statement line and payables line. So 2000, 2000, this got reconciled. Even if you go to your bank statement, the same you can see. Go to manage bank statements. So here is our bank account. Expand it. So click on the statement number. Go to statement lines. See, only one line reconcile. Remaining 5 more lines we have. Okay. We'll see how to reconcile these lines automatically. Okay, how to reconcile these lines automatically. Manually, we have seen how we can reconcile. If you want to auto reconcile, we have to perform additional configuration. By default, it is not possible. If somebody is from EBS background, so what is the additional setup required for auto reconciliation in EBS? In EBS, only the additional setup is bank transaction codes. In EBS, without bank transaction codes, you can create the bank statement lines and you can reconcile also. Manually, you can reconcile. As per EBS, the bank statement, bank transaction codes are required only for auto reconciliation. But in the Fusion, you may do the manual reconciliation or auto reconciliation. To create the bank statement itself, they made codes are mandatory. After creating all those, you can create the bank statements and you can do the manual reconciliation. But for auto reconciliation, so you have to do additional setups. If you compare with EBS, so in EBS, only transaction codes are enough that will help us to reconcile. But in Fusion, we have to do additional setups. What are the additional setups we have to do? Okay. So,
Sir,
yeah,
in this AR data we are getting, AP will include FA and expense data also, but there would be payroll data also, no? Payroll payments that should also come to cash management.
yeah. Payroll data, if you are using the same bank account, yes, you can get the payroll data also. If it's
Okay,
bank
so
account, if you are using in the payroll application, right? We mark this bank account for payables and receivables only, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And other data,
okay.
expense, etc., like only payments. We don't need to think about assets and all. Asset data won't come, right? What we are
That will
trying to
come as a
reconcile
payable invoice,
payments.
no?
Sorry?
That will come as a payable invoice, no? We are making payment.
Invoice not. No invoices will come. Only payments will come.
Yeah, I mean, when we purchased it, we would have made the payment for this
That's what.
assets.
That's the reason you don't need to address as a something else. Only payment. It could be any payment.
Okay, okay. And sir, this transaction code, will it be provided to us by banks?
Yeah, transaction codes are given by bank only.
The client will give us, right? We don't have to,
No.
we
Client
just.
won't give. So we'll get a bank statement. Client will share the bank statement with us. Okay. In the bank statement, you will see those codes that you have to create in the system. Or else, when we are working for the implementation, okay. So banker will provide some files about the like what are the different codes they use. They will be sharing the documents. When client will have an interaction with the bank team, even we will be part of that meetings. So they'll be
Okay,
sharing the document. The document we will get directly from the banker or from our client. So whatever the transaction codes are available in those documents, we have to enter. We
okay,
have to do that.
yeah,
We have to enter.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And is it this there is a direct and real-time integration, right? When we create any AP payment or any payroll payment, that will by default come to cash management.
Correct. Yeah, that's what we have seen. Payables payment is
Okay, okay.
operating. Yeah. Directly. There is no intermediate step. But in case of receivables, you should remit.
Remittance is required.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Right. So for auto reconciliation, we have to do a few setups. The first one is matching rules that you can call as reconciliation matching rules. Take the setup name as create bank statement reconciliation matching rules. We will create bank statement reconciliation matching rules. And you may create multiple rules, matching rules. Those all you have to group into rule set. Take the task name as create bank statement say rule set. Bank statement rule set reconciliation. And the rule set what we are creating that is applicable for which bank related statements to specify, we need to assign the same to bank account. Assign reconciliation rule set to bank account. So assign reconciliation rule set to bank account. So these are the setups we have to do. After completing the setups, we can go and run auto reconciliation. First, we'll create the matching rules, reconciliation matching rules. Search for reconciliation matching rules. So manage bank statement reconciliation matching rules. This is the task we have to use. And click on plus icon. Name is Alt INC reconciliation matching rules. Now you want to do the reconciliation for which application related transactions, payables and receivables. And what is the matching criteria? By default amount, system will look at the amount between the bank statement line and the system transaction. So along with the amount, if you want to have another criteria, you can have. Say definitely we have to look at the reconciliation reference date. This all should match, then that can be reconciled. That is the criteria we are giving. Say save and close. Now create the set. Here is the task. Bank statement reconciliation rule sets. Click on create. Here, the name you can give Alt INC reconciliation rule set. Click on plus icon, the matching rule. Whatever we created, select and say okay. If you have multiple rules created, you may create one for payables, one for receivables, then you can select. But ideally, there is no need to do like that. One is enough. The same we have to take into set, because rule we cannot assign at bank account level, only set can be assigned. Say save and close. Even you have a single rule, you have to take into set. Done. Now assign the same at bank account level. Go to bank accounts. Alt INC corporate account. Click on edit. Here go to controls tab. We have a field called as automatic reconciliation rule set. Select whatever we create. Okay, Alt INC reconciliation rule set. Say save and close. So these are the setups we have to complete. Now with
Lakshmi,
this back, yeah,
only one rule set can assign to one bank.
yes. Within that you can have multiple rules also.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Now with this bank account, if any bank statements are available in the system will perform the reconciliation. Okay, we'll go to system. Now we have to run the reconciliation, right? We completed required setups. We'll run the auto reconciliation. Go to task list, and here under reconciliation section, we have submit auto reconciliation. Click on this. Select bank account. We are going to run this auto reconciliation for which bank account. Select Alt INC, corporate account. If you have multiple statements with the same bank account, and if you want to submit specific statement for reconciliation, you may select statement ID. But we have only one. You no need to select. If you want to select, select. And statement date range. The Jan 1st to till today. Okay, done. Other criteria, if you want to give, you can give. Otherwise, not required. Now click on submit. So wait for a moment. Here you can refresh to see the status of the program. Auto reconcile bank statements. Status is succeeded. Now go to bank statement. Just go to manual reconciliation to cross check. Directly you can go to statement also. Check still any unreconciled transactions from the bank statement. Search. We don't have any bank statement lines still open. Those are reconciled. If you want to see reconcile, created groups, reconcile. So statement line, payables line, statement line, payables line, and the statement line, receivables, statement line, receivables, reconcile. You can go back to your bank statement. So all got reconciled. Okay. All got reconciled. That's how we can just perform manual and do automatic reconciliation. Okay. And here you could see the option. So you can create the bank statements in spreadsheet also. And click on this create, and you can connect. It's the same like we have seen invoice creation, receipt creation within the spreadsheet. In the same way, you can enter the bank statement details within the spreadsheet. Okay. One second. Okay. Here you can enter the statement header information, statement address, all the details you can enter. This is sample data they are giving. This information you generate the file and you can load it. This is the one option. And other point here is load and import bank statements. Okay. So you have a bank statements from the banker. These are the different formats Oracle will support. BI2 format, okay, EDI fact, and ISO. These are the different ISO 20022 with the additional extension, and Swift 940, or you can say Swift MT 940. If banker is able to provide the bank statement, say banker given the bank statement, so you select the same, you are getting the file, bank statement file in which format, BI2, select it. Here directly you can just select the data file. The BI2 file you can select and submit. Before that, you have to make sure the transaction codes are created. Okay, transaction codes are created. So that's how you can just submit. You can select the file here. Intraday, some clients within one day they'll get multiple statements also. If that is the statement file what you are uploading here, if that is a intraday statement, enable it, or else so you don't get a bank statement uh, more than one in a day, then you don't need to enable. And enable submit auto reconciliation. Select the file and submit, select this and submit. Then automatically the bank statement information will be loaded into cash management and that will get reconciled. Okay, we need only the bank statement files. That's how it's a pretty straightforward. Okay, straightforward. Directly you can load. So that those are the options. You can enter manual process, or if you have a bank statement files in the required formats, you can load. And the third option is you may create in the spreadsheet, create the file and load it to the system. And these are the different options when you talk about bank account creation, bank statement creation, bank statement load options. The other point we have to understand is external cash transaction. Ideal external cash transaction, nothing but bank
Lakshman,
charges. Yeah,
so if I'm loading and importing a bank statement and I do not select an option of submitting auto reconciliation then and there, then I can perform that
manually
later
you
also.
run it. Now we submitted, right?
Yeah, this auto reconciliation separately.
Yeah, that's
That
what. Just now we did auto reconciliation, right?
yeah, so
Same
that
way you
can be
can
done.
go and submit.
Okay.
If you enable, both will happen at a time in the sequence, loading and reconciliation. You are not enabling. System will load and you can review those. You can
Hmm.
review the bank statement lines. Then you can manually submit the auto reconciliation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, we may have some journals also, no, which needs to come. So
Yeah, you can get that. You can get that. See, in the GL, you can whatever the journals you create with the same bank related cash account, it will flow to cash management. Criteria is
o-
bank account, cash account you have to use.
okay, so if that bank account is used, it will automatically come.
That's
And
it.
in case of
No, no,
auto
that's it. That's it.
reconciliation,
No. You are using on bank account. You are using
hmm,
on bank account. In the bank account, will have a cash account, right?
right?
With the same cash account, if you create the journal in the GL, that will come, that will be populated in the cash management as a one line. That's all.
O- Okay, and if we are doing auto reconciliation, then like just the way we selected ARAP, we will select journal also, no,
Yeah,
in the
there you
setup.
can select. You can set the criteria, reference, and the date, and we given the criteria, right? Whether it has to look at amounts only or it has to look at what exactly, right? You can give
Yeah,
the
I'm saying about the transaction source. So we selected a account receivables payables. There we will select journal as well, no?
the journal also you have to select. Then it will look for journals also.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine. Now external cash
Lakshman,
transaction. Yeah,
Lakshman, here we have a check number, a reference ID, right? For journal, what will be there?
there you will enter journal level reference number you will enter because you are going to enter the journals through manual process, right?
Yeah.
So what you will do is you will be just inputting something there. You go to journals. You'll provide the reference only. create journal. Here, go to view columns. This column you have to add here. One second. Here we will enter something. Okay.
Mm.
So like payables payment check number is the reference, right? Receivables
Yeah.
receipt number, nothing but check number is reference. For journal, this is a reference number.
Okay.
The bank statement also you enter. You enter that reference number accordingly, and both will match. You can reconcile through manual process or automatic.
Okay. Thank you.
Lakshman, what about in case of EFT and wire payments?
EFT and wire payments.
Yeah, what is the reference number in that case?
The reference number you'll be just you'll be having that specific number, and that will be mapping into the system. Okay, say you are loading, there could be some number, right? Again, like you will be generating when we are making the payment for every payment. Do you think some number will be generated in our system also?
Okay,
The document number.
Yes. Right?
okay.
It may not be checked, right?
Yeah.
Making the electronic payment,
Yes, yes.
right? Some number,
Yes,
every
yes.
payment, some number will be generated. That will become reference number from our system. Okay.
Okay.
Same banker also will capture, they will give in that file. It will come from there also. Already we have in our system. If you are making the payment with a check, and again the check number in the bank statement also come. Here also, if you are making the payment with a different payment methods, some reference number will generate here. Banker also will provide the same reference number from both ends will cross check. In that case, it is not check number, some additional reference number. Yep.
Okay.
That's how
Got
we
it.
can manage.
Lakshman, GL journals will populate automatically in cash management, or you need to do any
No,
process like
it will
remittance?
populate. Criteria is it should be same cash account.
Okay.
Cash account should be same. Done. Now, when we talk about external cash transactions, say you received bank statement from the banker. As per bank statement, you are able to see one line as a bank charges. Now, what we have to do is the bank charges we have to record in the system as a bank statement line. So you have a bank statement. On the other side, system transactions. Now, as per bank statement, you received bank statement. If you are loading, everything will be loaded. So you are not loading, you are entering through manual process, for example. The bank charges are $10. For that, you have to create one line as a bank charges. And system side, it won't come from payables or receivables. Okay, you have to enter through manual process. Ideally, system transactions means it should come from payables or receivables or payroll or GL application. That's how it should come. But here it won't come. Okay, because those are like bank charges. You have to enter bank charges in the system through manual process by using the concept called as external cash transaction. By using this functionality, system transactions also you can enter. So here we'll enter 10. Then we have to reconcile these two. So this is how we have a solution for external cash transactions, or else based on the bank charges, automatically we can create the system transactions and we can reconcile. That we will see first. We will see how this can be handled through manual process. Now we are going to enter the bank charges in the bank statement. The same we are going to enter in the system as a system transactions and we are going to perform the reconciliation. Fine. So we received bank statement. One line is represented as a bank charges. Now we'll go and enter the same in the system. So go to our existing bank statement, manage bank statements. So click on statement number. The edit option is not showing. No worries, we just come back. Yeah. Now edit is showing here. Select, click on edit. Now add one statement line. So today date 1, 2, 3 and select appropriate code. Okay. You can use the same code also, or else if you want to select appropriate the relevant name, you may select. I'm selecting miscellaneous fee. Or you create one as a bank charges and just select. Flow
Is
indicator.
it a lookup, Lakshman? Transaction codes is a lookup.
We created right in our today's session.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Task, that is task will not lookup.
Okay.
Yeah. Flow indicator. Are we paying or receiving? We are paying. That means debit. How much? $10. Say okay. So one side we created. Okay, within the bank statement we created.
Lakshman, there is other details, right, in the statement. If you see the another statement line, fees and charges, other caps are there, right? What is this?
Yeah, you can just there nothing, just your fee and charges. You can just give the charge code and charge currency, charge amount, etc. Other details you can provide if you are just bringing from other source, etc. Okay, if you are entering through manual process, it is not required.
No.
So save and close. Now go to system transactions. Here, go to task pane, external cash transactions. Click on create transaction. Okay, and so enter our bank account. And business unit is not mandatory. If you want to select, select. So how much amount you are paying? So $10. Now, if you look at here, there is no flow indicator. So there is no flow indicator. Whether we are paying or receiving, how system will understand. If you give negative sign, it will understand as a paid. Positive means received. You have to enter. If flow indicator is there, you can say debit. Since flow indicator is not there, you have to enter -10. Now for this external transaction, system will create accounting entry. From this bank account, system is taking the cash account. Offset account, why you are paying, that reason you have to provide here. Offset account you can take as a bank charges account. You take bank charges account. Say okay. Now, once you perform the reconciliation, you will be able to create accounting entry for this within the cash management. Okay, AP data is coming, AR data is coming into cash management, but accounting you have to generate in those applications only. We can do the reconciliation in the cash management. No accounting entry can be generated within the cash management for reconciliation. We create invoice, we create accounting in the payables. We create payment, we create accounting in the payables. We do the reconciliation in the cash management, but accounting entry we have to generate in the AP. But only for these external transactions, accounting we can create directly within the cash management, since these are originated from the cash management. This data is not coming from other application to cash management. So for this, we have to first we have to reconcile. After reconciling, if you create accounting, it will create accounting entry as a the offset account is debit and cash account is credit. Offset account, what reason you are paying? You are paying with the reason bank charges. Means bank charges account is debit and cash account is credit. Now say save and close. Okay, done. Now we have this transactions, one from system, another one from bank statement. Now go to manual reconciliation. Check any transactions are available under unreconciled tab. As per bank statement lines, one line is available. Select, look for the matching system transaction. Okay, here you can see $10 external. External means system transaction which we created. Select both. So reconcile. It got reconciled. Now create accounting entries. So create accounting. Application is cash management. Select our ledger. It's fine, submit. Our system will create accounting entry. You can see from here. On the other side, just you can go to GL also. Okay, might be running the program. So import journals. If you look at this program or job, status is succeeded. Post journals is running now. That means almost journals are there. Again, check. Yes. Open this. Source is cash management and category is miscellaneous. Okay, it will take as miscellaneous. So accounting entry, you can see the bank charges account is debit and cash account is credit. So this is how the accounting entry can be generated only for reconciled transactions only. And in fact, if you can go to AP. Go to payables. Invoice workbench. Go to payment workbench. Okay, these are the payments. Now, if you look at the payment records, the most of the payments are negotiable. That means those are not reconciled. We reconciled only limited payments, right? You can see 10001 we reconciled. Now see the status cleared. Payment status cleared, reconciled status is yes. Now open it. Okay, open. Now see the status got changed for accounting. Partially accounted. Earlier we have seen accounted. Whenever you create accounting within the payables for payment, status is accounted. Now, since you perform the reconciliation, status is cleared and reconciled as yes, status changed to partially accounted. If you go to actions, view accounting, liability debit and cash clearing is credit. Now reconciliation is done. What is the entry? Cash clearing should be debited and cash account should be credited. Now that you have to submit, then only it will happen. Now go to actions and say post to ledger. So view accounting. Now, these are the lines which system created earlier, like liability debit and cash is credit, cash clearing is credit. Now, what are the cash clearing credited earlier? Now it's debiting. Cash clearing is debiting, cash account is crediting. This is additional entry for the activity called as reconciled payments. And just click on done and reopen. Now you see the status as a accounted, fully accounted. This is how we have to perform the accounting from the respective source applications only. Payments data, yes, for payments we can do the accounting from payables. Once it is reconciled, you cannot do the accounting from the cash management. Once it is reconciled, it will be updated in the payables against the payment records as it is cleared and reconciled as accounting status will be updated as a partially. That means something is pending. Again, you have to submit create accounting. You may submit create accounting program. It will take care of all the cleared status payments to update the additional line called as additional entry called as cash clearing debit and cash credit. The same we have to do from the cash receivable side also. So this is another
Lakshman,
you should understand.
like to do bulk payments to account it, create accounting and category will be payments, right?
Anywhere. It could be any application. Go and submit, create
Create
accounting
account.
program. In one go, it
Oh,
will complete. Submit, create account. Since we opened specific record, payment record, we did in that way. Otherwise, just go and submit. Okay, payables. This already we have seen, right?
yeah.
Same like if you want to do for only invoice or only payment, you can do. Okay, now your requirement may be only payments, or else keep open, submit.
This is
All
BU
the
specific
invoices
will happen, right?
which
Based
are
on the access provided to user, this create accounting will happen. But in cash management, it's not BU specific. It's LE specific.
correct. There, that is the reason anyway, you're not doing anything over there, right?
Oh,
Yeah. Anything you create within the cash management with a specific bank account, you are performing within the cash management. Yeah. So this activity should be done by respective department people, accountants.
mm,
So the transaction is created originally belongs to payables, and you have to perform any action on that only from the payables only. Only reconciliation it would be available. That's all.
okay.
Now, whatever the reconciliation we did, like it is manually we did and we entered everything manually. Now the requirement is, so think you are loading the bank statements, and that means you don't want to enter the system transaction through manual process and you don't want to reconcile through manual process. The bank statement, bank charges will be available. You may enter or else you may load whatever it may be. Statement charges would be there. Then automatically system has to create the system transaction based on the bank statement line and it should perform the reconciliation also. So to automate these two steps, we can go with the external transaction automation. So we have to do certain setups. Like auto reconciliation, we did a few setups. Here also we have to do certain setups. The same setups we have to map to our bank account. What setups we have to perform here? Here primarily we have to create transaction creation rules. Means this transaction, system transaction need to be created based on the bank statement line, which is belongs to bank charges. For that, we have to create rule. Say create bank statement transaction creation rule. Okay, create bank statement transaction creation rule. And also we have to do the certain mapping. We'll see in the system. What is the mapping? The type mapping we do. Take the point as create cash transaction type mapping. Okay, type mapping. And another point is the transaction creation rule. This need to be assigned to our bank account. So assign transaction creation rule to bank. Once we are done with this setups, what we are going to do? If you are loading the bank statement with the specific format, well and good. If you are not loading, you have to enter at least in the bank statement. Create bank charges in bank statement. Okay. Then you say generate external transactions automatically. That's all. And system will reconcile automatically. System reconcile automatically. So this is the process. First we'll go and create the bank statement transaction creation rule. Okay. So transaction creation rule means it's not like to create in the bank statement. Based on the bank statement, if you want to create the transaction as per what criteria it has to create, we are telling. To create the system transaction based on the bank statement, this rule we are going to create. Let's see. Fine. Search for transaction creation rules task. Here is the task. Manage bank statement transaction creation rules. Click on plus icon. Alt I and C. Bank statement transaction creation rule. For which legal entity we are creating, select our legal entity and statement line identification criteria. select type as fee. With the type as a fee, how many transaction codes are available in the system, it will display. You can select any one of the code, say 661 we are selecting, just make a note. And transaction details and all not mandatory, optional. If you want to provide, provide, or else ignore it. BU selection also not mandatory. If you want to select, select. Now provide, if you want to create accounting for this transaction, you have to provide. If you don't want to create accounting, you can ignore it. So you want to create. So provide cash account. Bank charges. Say okay. Now save and close. Okay, here notice the point. Whatever the transaction code you are using in this rule, with the same code, you have to create bank charges in the bank statement. That's very, very important point. It should match. Save and close. Done. Now create mapping type. Click on manage cash transaction type mapping. So what we are going to do, we are not going to receive, we are going to pay. It's a disbursement. So transaction type. So we are going to pay like fee, right? You can select a fee and select method and how you are going to pay. You can select any method, like you are going to pay through check or you are going to pay electronic, anything you can select. So save and close. The mapping for this method already seems to, this method is already available. Check here. So that is available. Okay, with this method, it's available. Look at this. Transaction type is electronic fund transfer. Okay, anything there, anything is fine for us. The disbursement, yes, it is available. Done. Now, two setups are available. Okay. Now create assign transfer and assign this rule to our bank account. Go to bank account. Open bank account. Under controls, click on edit first. Under controls, if you scroll little down, you could see bank statement transaction creation rules. We created based on what criteria system should create the transaction based on the bank statement lines we create. That rule you select here. Alt I and say bank statement transaction creation rule. So save and close. Now create bank charges in bank statement, then system will create external transaction as a system transaction and it will reconcile automatically. Go back to the cash management. Go back to cash management. line. Here, go to our bank statement. Expand account, select statement, and click on edit. Add the line related to bank charges. If you are loading, that also you no need to do, since we are entering through manual process. At least enter bank charges in the statement level. System side it will create and it will reconcile. Reconciliation reference is not matter here. Transaction code is the very important. So for which transaction code we written the rule, the same you have to select here. 661 is the one whatever we selected. Okay, the type is fee. Now we are paying debit. Okay, how much we are paying? $25. Say okay. Save and close. Now our requirement is system should create system transaction based on this bank statement line and it should reconcile. Now what we have to do is we are good with the setups and we enter the bank statement line also as a bank charges, and you have to generate external cash transactions. Generate external cash transactions. Go to this task pan and here is the task. Generate cash transactions. Select our bank account. And if you have multiple statements, you may give the statement ID also. We are going to run this for which statement related bank charges. This from statement. Anyway, we have a date with that today. This is in statement start and date is this. Select as this. Click on submit. Refresh. Below you can see the program triggered and completed. Bank statement transaction creation succeeded. Now go to external transactions. You should be able to see one external transaction created by system. External cash transactions. Go to manage transactions. Use our bank account name. Not fetching. Click on drop down. Alt INC. Check. And we created one manual external transaction also, right? We created one manual external transaction that we reconciled and interface to GL also. That was 10. Now whatever system created, there should be one with a $25. Check. See, this was the one which we created through manual process. You can see origin manual. Yes, manually we created. Now this is created by system. Based on the bank statement system created, it reconciled also. Reference number when we entered, we given 1, 2, 3. The same it is copying into external transaction. So $25. Let's reconcile. If you want to send this data also to GL from the create accounting, it will be transferred. So that's how we can create external cash transaction automatically based on the bank statements. For that, we have to create the rule. With which transaction type you are creating the bank charges, with the same transaction type or transaction code, you can say. There should be rule available. That rule can create the external transaction and it will perform auto reconciliation also. Reconcile. So that's all about how we can create the external transactions through manual process and auto.
Lakshman,
So-
can you please confirm where we selected that it should be auto reconciled?
Where we selected auto reconcile?
This external transaction that we have created, the status is reconciled, right?
Yes.
So before started working on it, we were saying, right, that there are 3 steps
Yeah.
and we will do system reconciliation
Yeah.
automatically. So how it happened automatically?
Since it's a system generated system transaction, it will happen automatically.
Oh, so we are not putting anywhere in setups, right? So
See,
it's just happening.
very simple to understand. In this concept, what happens? This will be copied as a system transaction. When something is copied, when the same copy is available as two records, do you need to go and check for reconciliation? Copy only, right?
Hmm.
100% it will
Okay.
match. That is the reason Oracle automated that.
Okay.
If you are entering under two sites, there could be mistakes, right? Yeah. One you
Yeah.
are entering, rest system is creating. Same is copying. That is the reason automatic reconciliation will take place.
Okay.
Yep. So other
Sir, normally, do we create journal or do we do this in cash management for any bank
you
charges
can
or something?
anything you can do, or else you can do another way of doing also. You may record the negative receipt also, negative miscellaneous receipt in the receivables.
Mm-hmm. And that way it will be in okay. Okay, yeah.
Yes, it will flow to cash management.
Mm-hmm.
Receivables, you create miscellaneous receipt. When you create miscellaneous receipt with the $10, what is the meaning of it?
$8-10.
Paid, received.
No, it's a negative receipt, no? So it would be a
No. I'm saying just $10. If you create with the $10, the meaning is we received. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
but the point what I'm talking about is not negative. Just if you create miscellaneous receipt, the meaning is we receive.
right, right.
Now you are creating a miscellaneous receipt with a negative amount. That means
Mm.
reverse case, as you said. Right?
Reverse
We are
case,
paid.
right.
There we will create
Okay,
one receivable activity called as bank charges.
okay, yeah.
We create receivable activity called as bank charges. When we create the miscellaneous receipt, what you will do? You will select receivable activity called as bank charges.
Bank charges and
Then
will
you will enter
yes.
negative amount. That amount will go and hit to that. Yeah.
AP side it is not done, right? AP side,
No,
any miscellaneous thing?
no.
Okay, okay. So, but commonly used approach is, I mean, in many projects, what is actually done? Is it through journal or is it through cash management?
So ideally, just we follow this process, what we have seen just now. Okay, the line would be in the
Mm-hmm.
cache management and will auto create.
Okay, okay.
Okay, that's how we do. Fine. So if it is not available, you can go through manual process. Okay, because Oracle give an option to auto create, right? So you can use it. If they are not allowing, one way it will come in the bank statement, other side how to manage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to create as a journal in the GL or else you want to create miscellaneous receipt from receivables. That is our call.
Okay, okay.
Adobe payments. What is Adobe payments? Say you don't want to create any invoice and still you want to make some payment and you don't have any kind of supply record also. You don't want to maintain the supply record. You are not going to get from that party any invoice, but still you want to make the payment. No invoice, but you want to make the payment. Yeah, that is possible from the cash management. Okay, uh, by using the Adobe payments. Here, what we do is to whom you are paying, the payee name, the party name you create, you maintain that party bank account. Directly, you can make the payment from the cash management. Okay, we'll see. First, we have to create the payee. So, create payee to whom you are paying and the payee bank account details. Then you can create Adobe payment. Kind of some temporary payments. It's not a regular activity, some temporary kind of miscellaneous kind of payments You don't have any supplier, you don't have any invoice which you received from that party, but still you want to make the payment. The miscellaneous payments kind of thing, so you may process through this. Now, go to system, go to navigator. Under cash management, go to cash balances task. Now go to task pan. Under Adobe Payments, click on create Adobe Payments. So from which, sorry, I think we did create a party. Here on the task pan, say create pay. First create the pay, then you can process the payment. Name is XYZ Alt INC party. And save the name so that you'll be able to add the bank account for that pay. Now click on plus icon, and the party bank account is belongs to US. Account number, currency USD, account type say saving account, routing number, routing number. Now say OK. Save and close. Now party information is ready. Go to task pan, click on create Adobe payment. So we are going to make the payment to this party from which bank account? Our internal bank account name. Alt INC corporate account. Payee name is we given just name as XYZ, right? XYZ Alt INC party, and payee account. It's a payment only. Again, you want to give the direction to the system whether we are paying or receiving positive or negative, or just so kind of debit or credit for us. Since payment, so directly you can enter how much you are paying. That's all. Say we are paying just $100. And cash account. From this system is taking the cash account. Why you are paying? What is the reason? That reason you can specify here. So you've taken some services. That's some reason you can specify. Some miscellaneous expense you spent. Okay. So this is how you can specify settle transactions through payments. Settle transaction through payments means this will be routed through payment process. Okay. So you have to select the business unit, you have to select the payment method and process profile. Then it will be processed through payments. If you want to directly settle in the cash management, disable that settle through payments and submit. It will be updated as external transaction. This also will create external transaction. Now you can just go to external transactions. And go to manage transactions. You can see origin is Adobe Payments under console. Now you can create the line in the bank statement. Okay, line in the bank statement. So you got a bank statement as per bank statement. Okay, so if you are getting this line, just you can enter in the system and you can perform the reconciliation, create accounting entry, run the create accounting process. You will create accounting entry. You will interface the data to GL application. So these are the points we have to understand from the cash management side. Now we'll take a quick break, maybe for 10 minutes. After the break, we can kick off with a general ledger application. So from GL point of view, we completed all the basic setups. These basic setups we have completed in the very initial classes to kick off the journal creation. Now, we'll understand what is the role-based dashboard, etc. And create journal and the post already we have seen, and anyway, we will be creating multiple journals also. So we'll see how to create the journal by using ADFDA. We created invoice from the payables from spreadsheet, and receivables we created receipt from spreadsheet. From fixed assets we created asset from the spreadsheet. In the GL we have an option to create journal within the spreadsheet, that is ADFDA functionality. So switch to general ledger application, journals, go to task pan. Here is the task called as create journals in spreadsheet. Open. Enable editing. Connect. Provide login credentials. Escape. So now here you can create journals. If you want to create the single journal, use this sheet. If you want to create multiple journals, you can use multiple journal sheet. So, like if you provide journal name, system will take as it is. Otherwise, it can create the batch name and journal name automatically. It will give like JV1 means journal voucher 1. We want to create the journal by using which spreadsheet. We have access to this data access set. This data access set is created based on which ledger. Those ledgers only you can see, that is our ledger. And accounting date, today's date you can provide. And we are creating journal through spreadsheet. Okay, through spreadsheet. And enter debit and credit lines here. Double click and select category. Okay, header level category also mandatory. Double click and select the category. So it's going to be some adjustment entry. Select adjustment and say OK. Now provide account code combination for debit and credit. Click on search. Choose any one of the existing code combination. We are testing, we no need to go with a specific account. So any one of the debit account, choose and say OK. And select currency. Double click. Say okay. If you want to enter directly, you can enter. System will take care of the validation and it will allow. So enter debit. Say we are entering $10,000. Since it's a debit account, we are entering debit. Rest nothing. You want to capture any details, you can capture. Now we'll enter the credit line. Okay, enter credit amount now. Okay, we created one more line with a specific code combination. Enter credit amount. So this is how you can enter multiple debit and multiple credit lines, or else you can go to multiple journals sheet. There every line you can enter as a separate patch. Every line you can give separate name as a journal name and you can enter. After entering these details, go to create journal tab and click on submit. This information will be imported into GL, the source name called as spreadsheet. So submit. The source name is spreadsheet. Okay. Now switch to application, manage journals, source is spreadsheet. Check. So journal is coming from spreadsheet. We given journal name as JV1 and it is just mapped with a category also. And the source is spreadsheet, category is adjustment and 1000. We entered and it is selected for posting also. So this is how we can enter the journals from the spreadsheet. Those can be imported into GL application. The other option is we can load journals information to GL as a part of data conversion. Okay, as a part of data conversion. So we will provide that FBDA template that we'll discuss and we'll proceed. Okay. So loading journals from FBDA template. So we have seen in the payables and other applications FBDA template. The template will share with the client. What client will do is, so client will provide the journal information within this. What journal information? TB, trial balance. TB means trial balance. The summaries of, okay, all their liabilities, assets, everything, all like, so it has to be TB trial balance. Everything need to be balanced. All the debits need to be balanced with the credit. They don't give a detail level. They'll give their complete information. So that just we will share this FBDA template to the client and we'll ask them to provide their TB trial balance, the summary balances. So this we have to load into the system. Okay, we'll see, like we'll download the template and we'll prepare the data. How to load, same process. How we load it in other applications, same process. We'll see that. OER. Cloud applications. financials, all books. File-based data import for financials. Click on HTML hyperlink. Now look for journal-related template. Journal import. Just click on that template link and save in the respective folder. We are using Alt IMC, save in the same. Now just open the same folder. Open the same template. Journal import template. Now here we have to enter the lines. Okay. We have a lot of sample data. And remove the sample data except two records. Okay, we'll use one as debit, another one as credit. So remove all the lines. So this is how the client will provide multiple records, multiple lines. So within one journal, you can enter the balances belongs to multiple currencies also. Okay, multiple currencies also you can enter. So within the one single batch, within the single batch, you can create journals in multiple currencies, different currencies. This is how client will provide their information. Okay, so all these and the balances they will enter, and that information will be loading. Right. What we'll do is we can remove all the records. Keep two records for our reference. We'll prepare and we'll load it. Here we cannot give the ledger name. We have to provide the ledger ID. So get ledger ID from the instance. Go to manage ledgers task to get the ledger ID. Manage primary ledgers. Find our primary ledger. And we have very limited columns here. There are a few hidden columns, those you display. Accounting method is hidden, ledger ID is hidden. Select to display. So here is our ledger ID. This is ID for our ledger. Okay, now just copy this. Take into spreadsheet as a in the ledger ID attribute. And just effective date and all you can provide. So month, Feb 25th, 24. And journal source and category you can provide based on like from where you are bringing these details. So before you provide this source and category name, by using the journal source and journal category, the names need to be created in the system. But these are already available, whatever you see here, that you can proceed. You are creating journal in which currency, say USD. And journal entry creation date, you can take the same date. Okay. And actual flag is a like that flag actual journals we are creating. It's not a budget related journal. We'll see how to create the budget related budget definitions, how to deal with that. But this is not related to any budget. It's actual. Okay. And provide account code combination so that we can open the screen to capture the data. Go to journal screen. You can go to any one of the existing journal or you can just pick the data from here. All the expense, anything you can take, like all the complete data we get from the client. So you can pick any one of the value. So 1,000, department also 1,000, use account, and we have three more segments. Those yes, 1000. This we are going to treat as a debit. When you get this, when you give this file to client, many debits, many credits will get because different account of some of the balances they will provide. Say 50,000. So since currency is same, converted debit and all everything is same. All this additional data, reference data you can remove, not required. Check. As a sample Oracle, just fill some data. You can remove that. There are no other columns available. Now create one more or few more lines. Same date. Copy and paste. Currencies USD. Date is journal entry creation date is same. Okay, from here you can pull any other account. Cash account you can take. This is going to be credit. 2,000. So we'll get multiple lines, okay, for our understanding. Two lines we created. Generate CS.
Where do we give the batch name here?
Batch always system will create. You don't need to do anything.
Lakshman, there will be a reference fields, right? We can give the reference fields, the batch name.
No. Batch it will create automatic.
No, if you want to populate the custom batch name, in GL interface, we have a reference fields, right? Reference 1 to 10.
Correct. Yes.
There we can populate, right?
You have fields for that. Additional fields we have in that to say.
Yeah.
But you can use those otherwise just directly if you want to create as a, I mean, if you, definitely you'll be having just, ideally this we will load as a one journal only. Okay, you don't need to load as multiple journals. One journal will load. And it's not required. If you want to make as a batches and all, yes, you can do that.
And so what is the line identifier here?
Sorry,
What is the line identifier here?
line identifier.
Yeah,
1 second, just a minute. Okay,
sure.
save this file. So take it to the respective folder. We are using Alt I and C. So save it. Here is the template. So this is the debit and credit. These are the reference purpose. So this is one of the interface group identifier for grouping purpose. And you can give multiple lines with some reference number. Those all can be grouped into group identifier, multiple lines. Once you are telling to the system, is all you take into one group. Where is that?
Yeah. So if we are creating two journals in the sheet, so for debit and credit line, we will give one, and for second, we will give second and second, right?
Yes, you will
That's
be giving debit credits, but you will be giving the same reference number.
number
System will understand these two should go into one bucket of
one.
journal. Okay.
Okay.
Or else multiple lines we have multiple lines also, just you can give the same. And here group identifier, you can with the group identifier again how many journals need to be created also you can segregate, just grouping is all lines should go into one journal, or all this belongs to one journal, into which group of the journal creation you can specify. If you don't give anything, everything it will be loaded into one journal only. No segregation.
Okay. And sir, what is the meaning of batch, creation of batch? Like, is it like that in one batch we can post many journal?
See here, this is a journal batch. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here, whatever you create, it will system will take as a one journal. And again, if you want to create one more journal, click on add. The batch name remains as it is. You can create
Okay.
multiple journals within that batch.
Okay. Okay.
All you can post at a time. That's how it is.
Okay. Okay.
So follow the standard process to load that journal information into system. Go to schedule processes, submit the program called as load interface file for import. Load interface file for import. So import process name you could see from this OER sheet. The name is import journals. The data would get populated into this interface table. So find import journals. Data file, pick the file from the machine. In place in the UCM. It should start with a GL. Yeah, there is GL interface. Submit. Now the data will get populated into GL interface tables. From there again we have to import. To import what program we have to run? The same program. Import journals. If you run the data which is available in this interface table, GL underscore interface table, the data will be imported to GL application. So refresh. Just refresh this page navigation, or else if you click on that, it will populate the same name. Of course, we can override, but better you can refresh this page. Click on schedule new process, import journals. Okay. Okay. Source. Okay. As per the spreadsheet, we have a source. Look at that source. Balance transfer is the source. Pick the same source name. This is our data access set. And, so the data access is created against our primary ledger, same as defaulting. Now just you can click on submit. Whatever the data is available with a given source with our primary ledger name, the data will be imported to GL from GL interface. Refresh. So import journals. Let's see that. Now go to manage journals task to review the journal which is imported. Yeah, this is journal we imported. So the same 50,000 journal import created. So then you can just review this information. If everything is okay, you can post it. So this is how we can load the data. Ideally, this we call as a TB, trial balance. Client will provide. You have to provide this template. They'll fill all the current system as per current system. So how many assets they have, how much depreciation they calculated, and how many like how much liability they have for all the accounts. For all the accounts, some of the balances they will enter in this. So everything should get balanced. That we don't need to worry about it. So all they'll enter debits and credits. So they'll make sure that everything is getting balanced. Once the balances are matching debit and credits, that we will get from the client the same template. Same template will give, they fill and they'll give. Our job is converting into CSV and loading into GL. Then we have to just inform to the client as loaded, they will review and they will accept, sign off. So that is the task is aligned with this template related activity. Now another point here is so template and foreign currency journals. More or less, we have seen that foreign currency transactions and payables, receivables, same. If you want to create the journal other than your ledger currency, that is treated as a foreign currency journal. Only one setup is required. That is maintaining the daily rates between the your ledger currency and the foreign currency. We'll go and check any rates are available. Daily rates. Go to daily rates task. Manage daily rates. Go to daily rates. So you want to create between USD and INR. Check if rate is available for today. The rates are not available. Now create rate in spreadsheet.
Lakshman, except spreadsheet, we don't have any other option like FBDA template to create the
No,
daily
no,
rates.
no. This is a one, and you have like yeah, template also you can use, but ideally that has to come from spreadsheet. And mostly in the, I mean, client point of view, will be integrating. There are some few tools, services are available, which are authorized by Oracle. Just you have to go and input this URL and provide the password. The best example is most of the implementation which I have seen is FX Loader. Okay, the client
Okay.
takes the subscription. FX Loader. They'll take the subscription, and the rates will be imported from that tool to our Oracle application. We don't need to enter typical.
Okay.
Okay.
Because some cases a treasury team will create or cash management team will create. Some cases where we need to download from central bank website and all, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah, that, yes. So you can get in the this same required format and you can load, or else there may be already like authorized daily rates provided by Oracle. In that case, just you have to give that link mapping only.
Okay.
That's how it works. Right. You just provide the from and to currency, say USD, INR. Rate type is corporate rate, and from and to dates. Take the today's date. Say 80. Since corporate, it should be more than 1 day. 1 day means ideally daily rate we treat. So just for our testing, 1 day is enough. Submit. Say yes. Okay. Successful inserted one. Go back to the application and check rate availability. Is 80 loaded. And the inverse rate automatically system is creating. 1 rupee is equal to how many dollars? 0.0125. Done. Now we
Lakshman,
can go and create.
Lakshman, if you want to define new rate type, where do we do that?
Yeah, we will do that, and we have a separate concept
Okay.
to touch
Okay.
that point. Yeah. We'll be creating their multiple rate types. Fine. Now go to journals. So task pan, create journal. So I want to create INR journal. So I'm giving them batch name, journal name as INR. My ledger currency is USD. I want to create journal is in INR and the rates are already defined. So with the today date, with the rate type corporate rate is available. Select category. And provide debit and credit lines in rupees. Okay, while you test, you can pick random accounts, no issues. And I'm entering 10,000 rupees. It will be converted into dollars. It's a foreign currency journal. Save. Just complete. Post it. Refresh. It will update. Post it. So this is how you can create. Let's close this spreadsheet. A few more spreadsheets. Spreadsheet. Yep.
Sir, this currency should be active, right? When we created COA, we disabled all the currencies.
Now, yeah, the same point. Whatever we discuss, same point applicable here. Whatever the currencies you need to record the transactions, or it may be to select into your primary ledger creation. Anything you want to use, that should be enabled.
Active.
Enabled currencies only would be available to create the transactions. Now we are able to see big list. That means all are enabled in this environment. Yeah, that should be enabled.
Okay. Okay. And sir, this what we see this FBDI, that means that if we have four items in trial balance, so one like cash balance or AR balance, so the one line would be created in journal, right? Debit, credit. That's
Correct.
how we will post
Each
this
and every
FBDI.
account will have a separate lines.
Sorry.
Each and every account will have a separate line in the journal. For each
Okay,
and
so if
every
we have
account,
capital, if we have in AP side we have accounts payable, so two lines for that, and on what is on the debit side, two lines, two, three lines for that. So that's how we will post this.
correct.
Okay,
Simple
okay.
example, you may just, if you are aware, okay, or else in the Google you can type, so trial balance. There you can see all the items. That's how you get into the spreadsheet.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So reverse journals. Okay. So say you created journal in the GL directly and you identified something went wrong, that account is wrong or amount wrong. Once you post the journal, you cannot do any changes against the journal. The one and only option is you can reverse the journal. You can reverse the journal. When you reverse the journal, automatically system will create opposite journal. So you created one journal. So opposite journal you may plan to create. One more journal will be created with the same account code combination, with the same debit, with the same credit, but amount would be negative. Then it will be nullified. Or else whatever we have in the current journal with the debit, that will be created as a credit, and what you have as a credit, that system will create as debit. Whether you want to change the sign of the currency balances, the journal in the opposite journal, or you want to change debit to credit, credit to debit, that you can take the decision and you can reverse the journal. Okay, whenever you perform the reverse, system will create the reversal journal to nullify the existing journal. We'll see that. So you just pick any one of the journal, manual journal, manage journals, any journal you can take. The source is manual. Manual means the journals which are created directly in the GL. Or else a spreadsheet journal, anything just you take here. Find out manual journal. This is journal we entered just now. We posted. You can see the status of posted. Since it's a posted, nothing you can modify here. Okay. No option. You cannot change the batch name, journal name. No data point you can change. Now you identified the account what you took and posted is wrong. You posted this $125 against wrong account. You posted to wrong account. Now you want to correct it. How to correct? You cannot correct directly. You have to reverse it. What account is debiting, you can credit. Whatever account is crediting, you can debit. Or else whatever the accounts are debiting and crediting, the respective balances you provide negative by creating the opposite journal. Now what we have to do is go to show more. Okay. And go to reversal, and here you can give the reversal period. So this journal you want to reverse. When you reverse, system will create the opposite journal, quite opposite to this existing journal. That need to be created in which period? Current period itself. That reversal journal need to create switch debit or credit means this debit goes to credit goes to debit in the new journal so that it will get nullified. Or else you may say change side. That means as it is with this information only system will create new journal as a reversal journal, but it will put minus 1,000, 10,000 minus 10,000. So what is the reversal method you need that you can set? Okay, I'm just setting change sign. This journal is not reversed.
Can you please explain again this reversal method?
You will
Didn't
see that
really get it.
once result will come, you will understand that. Yeah,
Okay.
we are going to see that. So this is how you set. Now go to journal action, click on reverse. What we given change sign, right? We given reversal method as.
Change.
Now what will happen? You will see. We reversed, refresh. Here also your system will update the status as this journal got reversed. This reversed. And it will give the reversal journal name also here. Just wait for a moment. The reversal journal, what we are creating, that need to be posted. Otherwise, no impact. Come back, no problem. Just we can find from here when you are searching. This journal name is INR, right? Here, what you can do is contains INR. So there should be one more journal which is created by system, that is a reversal. So what is the reversal method we given? Change sign. If you go to this reversal journal, okay, here you can see negative sign change, credit amount only, sign is changed. Got this point?
Okay. Yeah.
If you give switch debit credit, what will happen? It won't change the sign. It will keep debit amount to
Credit and credit to
credit
debit.
to debit. Yeah, this is
Got
the.
it.
I mean, these are the two methods we have. So how you want to manage this reversal entry accounting information? Yeah.
Lakshman, can we
Yeah,
reverse entire batch also?
yeah, you can reverse. Okay.
Okay. And any DFFs we capture as part of initial journal, will be copied to reversal also?
Now it will create as this. It won't take all those details. It will just okay. DFF values what you have in the original journal. Yeah, that information.
Yeah.
All everything. See, this journal system is not creating. First of all, it is copying and it is playing the logic of whether the
Debit
amount
credit.
has to go here to here and here to here, or else sign need to be changed. We are not entering. System is not creating. It's a copy only. If any information you have against that journal, everything it will copy. You may have attachment,
Oh,
you may have something else, everything it will do. Okay. The EFF and for descriptive additional data, it will copy. It's a copy only, but only this two columns only system will update as per your reversal method. That's all.
okay.
And
What is
make
the
sure,
status of completion status, Lakshman, here?
sorry,
In the header level, in the
it is
batch name,
completed, right?
completion status
Creation
is
is
there, right?
completed. Creation is completed.
Okay.
Journal creation completed, right? That is the reason it is updated as completed.
Okay.
Now you have to post it. If you post only, the balances will reflect. If you go to query the balances, so you will see that the 10,000 amount with the same accounts. If you post this, so these are the opposite entries. There 10,000 positive here, 10,000 negative with the same account. Both are debit only. Then it will become zero. Now here,
Sir, ideally, which approach should we follow? Change of sign or change of account? I mean, switching the account or change of sign?
it doesn't makes any big difference. End result is same. End result is same.
Okay.
Ideally, just you can you here and there like clients they prefer to go with a uh, changing like debit to credit and credit to debit.
Okay. And this reversal period we entered February. So if let's say if a journal is of Jan, so should we open Jan and then reverse it in
Yeah,
Jan period,
always
or
we have to
it's
use the same period. If there is no scope, then only you have to use the next. Because when you run the reports, when you check the balances, it should reflect in the same period, right?
right, right.
That is the
Okay.
reason always if period is something you did and the period is closed, you don't have option to go and do in that period. Then whatever the
Mm-hmm.
best possible you have possibility you have, accordingly you have to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Always,
Otherwise, best practice is same period.
yeah, same. That is the best thing what we have to do. Otherwise, it shows you spend expense in the last month, but reality it's got reversed. Right?
Right, right.
So
In current
doesn't
balance.
think it
Yeah.
doesn't match. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And here under reversal, you can see original journal. This is a reversal journal system created. This journal is created based on which journal. Against opposite to which journal this is created, you can see here. This is journal, INR journal. Okay, again now it is updated. Against INR journal, reversal journal, it's reversed. And where is reversal journal? This is a reversal journal. That's how you can drill down. This is a manual process. We are going to see automatic process also. Automatically you can reverse the journals. For that, we have to set some criteria set and all. Right. Just we'll complete this session for complete this topic for today, and we can wind up. Okay. We'll just see data access concept, and we'll close for today. So when you talk about data access set, already we have seen the moment you create primary ledger and complete, the system is creating the data access set. So we assign data access set to our GL roles. So that is system created data access, but we can create data access as per our requirement. Let's take the use case. Say we have multiple balance and segment values, 1000, 2000, 3000. Now business requirement is there is one user who need access to only 3000. Yes, you can give the access. I can say read and write, full access. Okay, read and write access. So 3000, we are giving read and write access. For the same user, access is required for 1000 and 2000 also. But that access should be limited to read only. Access, you have to, the access filter is read only. This is the business requirement. This sort of requirements you can achieve with the data access set. The data access set, select this 3000, set read and write full access. Means with 3000 that user will be able to create transactions and user can post the transactions and the user can see the existing transactions also. But with 1000, 2000, user will not be allowed to create any transaction. These two values won't be visible, but that user will be able to view the transactions, read-only access. If any transactions are already created in the system, that user will be able to see the transactions with the 1000, 2000. With 3000 also user can see the additional privilege is right. Means user can create the transaction, user can edit existing transaction only for 3000, rest of two only view access, read only access. Okay. So that is the point you have to understand. Okay. So that is the point you have to understand to meet that requirement. To meet that requirement, what we have to do is we have to do certain configuration. Okay, we have to do certain configuration, and that we have to. I mean, certain configuration means we have to create the data access. Very simple. That we have to assign to the user instead of assigning your primary ledger related data access. Just simple use case. Create data access set. How do you create within the data access? This is what exactly you are going to specify. Which user need access this sort of privileges? Okay, create that user. Create new user. You may give the name as uh, say alt inc data access set user. Okay, then we have to assign the roles. Assign GL roles. We'll assign one role. We don't need to assign all role for this testing. And assign the data access to the same user roles. So assign data access set to user roles, run LDAP job. Okay, these are the setups. After that, we'll go on to create journal so that we can understand how system will behave. Yeah, we'll go and complete these setups. So let's create data access set. Okay, here is the task, manage data access sets. Click on manage data access sets. So with our primary ledger name already system created data access set that already we reviewed, right? So now we are going to create our own as per our requirement. So Alt I and C data access set. You may write the description, whatever we discussed. Allow full access to 3000, read only access to 1000 and 2000. You may write. Access set type, we are not going to set for entire ledger same access. Within the ledger, we want to set access what level, balance and segment values level. And the very important point is the data access set what we are setting, it is applicable for balance and segment values. The same access if you want to set for department or account, not possible. Only for balance and segment values only you can set these privileges with the data access set. So select primary balance and segment values. Okay. For each primary balance and segment value, you want to set variety of the privileges. And where you have your primary balance and segment values in our ledger. Alt INC and select calendar also. We'll understand why we are selecting calendar. There is separate concept in those scenarios, so it is required, but now it's mandatory. Or else here the point will come. Say Alt IMC. Now click on add. Now you can see the ledgers here. In how many ledgers this calendar and the chart of account is available. With this combination, it will display the ledger. Now select our primary ledger. By default, all values read and write. All values within this ledger. What are the primary balance and segment values we have? For all the primary balance and segment values, read and write. But our requirement is different. Only for 3000 read and write, remaining to read only. So all not, disable it. We don't want to set same for all. Now here select single value. Which value is that? Select 1000, set read only. Uncheck single value. It's 2000, read only. We'll set for 3000 also read only. Four thousand will set read and write. We have four values. So 4000 will give read and write. Now save and close. Now we create a data access set. Create one user, which user need this kind of privileges. Go to security console. Alt INC data access set. assign any one of the GL roles, say General Accounting Manager. It starts with ORA. Select and assign. Click on done. Set password. You just set password mostly like of assigning roles to the user. Otherwise, if you enter the password again, if you assign the role, sometimes system will remove this. Save it. We created a user and we assigned the role also. Now assign data access to our custom data access. This is not system auto generated, it's a custom which we created. This you assign to your user. Setup and maintenance. Manage data access sets. Sorry. Data access for users, right? Data access for users. To assign our custom data access to user roles. So username is alt inc, data access set, role is general accounting manager, contest is data access set. The name we given as alt inc data access set. Save and close. Submit LDAP process. You may log into the instance from the different browser.
Lakshman, read and write means he can create the journal, he can delete the journal also before posting.
See, read and write means which is possible that can be done by this user. It's not like additional privileges. What generally Oracle is allowing, that can be done. That's it. If delete function Oracle is giving, the user can do that. Full access.
Okay.
No special permissions. Yeah. Now click on Navigator, General Accounting, Journals. So create journal. And before creating, we'll notice this user is able to access to all the journals or not. Go to Manage Journals, click on Search. Yes, this user is able to see all the journals which are coming from different applications, receivables, assets, payables, all. This all we created with a balance and segment value 1000 only. User is able to see which are belongs to 1000. If you have with the 2000, 3000 also user can see. When user will create transactions, but user will be limited to only 4000. User cannot see only 4000. User can create the transaction. Creation is allowed with 4000, but view read only access is given to all. Any journal which is available 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, this user can see. When it comes to transaction creation, user is allowed to create the transaction with only 4,000. That's how we created data access set. The data access set we can use only for balance and segment value, maybe for entire ledger or specific balance and segment values. Here, if you go to ledger, data access set, you have one user. That user need access to entire primary ledger read-only access. So what you can, you have two options. Now, instead of you have a 20 balance and segment values, instead of selecting 20 balance and segment values one by one, what you can do is you can take that access set type as a full ledger. You are not going to play with balance and segment values. For our entire ledger, you want to give read-only access. Then you click on add and select your ledger here.
The calendar we have chosen Art INC.
Okay, one second. Yeah. Okay. Alt INC here also. Alt INC. Now click on add. That is a criteria system will check. Here select your ledger. Now full ledger. Okay, you cannot play around with the values inside. Any access. Okay, by default system creates data access like this whenever you create the primary ledger. Okay, now you can set read only and save it. If you assign this data access to any user, that user will have access to our entire primary ledger, all the balance and segment value just to view the data. No transactions can be created. So this is how for entire ledger level also you can set read only or read and write access. The entire ledger level, you no need to set read and write. By default, system is created that you can use. Apart from that, if you have some specific requirement, only read only or only specific balance and segments read only or few balance and segment values read and write, that you can set. And again, other point is within the chart of accounts, you may have a multiple segments. It is applicable only for balance and segment values. You cannot use this functionality feature for like department or natural account or other segments. So this is what we have to understand. Fine, we're done for today. If you have any questions, we can stay back. We'll discuss. And we'll continue tomorrow from here.